So it's rare that I do channel shoutouts. I'm not even sure how I have found the one channel that just showed up in my feed for YouTube. It's called Invisible People, where this guy goes around. I'm assuming he's homeless, and he goes around interviewing various homeless people throughout the United States. And the reason I want to give this channel a shout out is it does show homelessness, the plague of homelessness that nobody wants to see in the United States, which is very bad. There is a very bad state of homelessness, especially in the area where I live and throughout the country, that people just turn a blind eye to. Now, me being homeless, I was homeless from 2008 to 2011, and people will go, oh, well, this is what people don't understand. Homelessness is not always the fault of the homeless person. That's the thing. With me, it kind of was, because I helped out my brother and my mother. I gave them a lot of money that I shouldn't have given them, knowing their characters, knowing they weren't going to help me, knowing that they were not going to even pay me back, and they didn't pay me back. But I thought they were, because I'm stupid, okay? So I was taken advantage of by my own family and ended up homeless. I was living with my brother to help him take care of da-da-da-da-da. He didn't pay his mortgage. House gets repossessed. I end up homeless and penniless because I helped him out. I helped him buy a car. I helped him try to get on his feet again after his wife overdosed and all this other crap. So that's, boom. That is how I ended up homeless. But that's my fault for being an idiot. However, once you are homeless, it changes your view of reality. There is no way that you cease being a human. You're no longer a member of society. You cannot afford dignity. You're not allowed dignity. And the thing is, these people that'll go, why don't you get a job? People that say things like this do not understand the outright fun of walking 4.5 hours to get to a temp service every morning to hopefully work at a lumber yard for minimum wage so that you can get your $30 or $50 that day, maybe if you're lucky, which is not enough to get a room. That's not enough to do really anything with. So that's what people don't understand. And you're not guaranteed work every day. You have to get there at 3 in the morning and wait for work that you'll hopefully get by 9 a.m. And you're sleeping probably an hour at night, if that. And sometimes you can't sleep at night because the police will harass you. So you have to sleep during the day so that you can move around at night to keep yourself from freezing to death, and so the police don't harass you. You go and do a 24-hour supermarket, one of my favorite instances. You lose your humanity. Your status as a human being is taken away from you. You go into for example, me, I went into a 24-hour supermarket so I wouldn't freeze to death. I'm just walking around. The place is a ghost town. There's nobody in there. And the managers, because they're wimps, They don't even have the ability to give me the dignity of confronting me and saying, sir, you can't be in this store right now, please leave. They have to call the police. So I'm confronted by 4 police officers who tell me I need to leave, okay, because I'm frightening the people in there, to which I respond, what people? There are no people in here. Oh, the management's terrified of you. Okay, I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. But that's the type of stuff that you put up with. Not to mention the lack of eating, the lack of sleeping, the lack of proper exercise. You're doing all this continuous hard labor. Like with me, it was obviously the walking. When you're walking 18 hours a day or more, you get blisters on the soles of your feet, but you got to keep moving or you'll get harassed by law enforcement. Okay, so this is what people can't understand, and this is what changed. Being homeless changed my outlook from that of a free market national socialist to a legitimate third positionist. Somebody that embraces both the social justice aspect of third positionism and the other more conservative aspects of third positionism. Okay, the nationalism and things like that. When you start seeing the reality of how everything runs, and you can't ignore, when you're homeless, you can't ignore reality. See, people that are capitalists or communists or things like this, it's very easy to be a capitalist or a communist when you live at home with mommy or daddy and you don't pay for anything. You don't pay for your food, you don't pay for your rent, you don't pay for your electric, you don't pay for anything, which is a big difference than, being out on the street, scrounging for, your next job so that you can eat, maybe eat, if you have time to eat, if you don't get done work and everything's closed by then. Or if you're even allowed to shop at places because people think you're scary and they don't want you shopping there. So the story of homelessness, of real homeless people, to see what they go through is very important. And that's where this Invisible People channel comes in. And a lot of people don't understand this. When you're homeless and you associate with other homeless people, yeah, there's people that are homeless because they're drug addicts. There's people that are homeless because they're alcoholics. There's a lot of people, more than you might think, that are homeless because their house burnt down. That are homeless because they got laid off from their job and they couldn't afford rent that month and they're thrown out and they have nowhere to go. So they just end up homeless for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Okay? So the thing is, the reality of homelessness is not simply people are irresponsible. The reality of homelessness is very nuanced. The reality of homelessness is very pervasive. The reality of homelessness is very detrimental to society. And this is why certain things like why I embrace socialism, the socialist aspect of third positionism. Okay, because without socialism, thriving is not easy. And people will go, well, you just have to work hard until you achieve upward mobility. What people don't understand, there is no upward mobility once you lose your humanity. You're not going anywhere. Like, for example, with me, this is how it worked with me. Okay, boom, I'm homeless. That's fine, I'll live in my car. So I'm living in my car, working pretty regularly. Uh-oh, I don't get to get a car because the police don't like me sleeping in my car. So I have to find a place to park my car. Okay, I'm parking my car. Oh, I can't park it there anymore. My car gets impounded. I can't afford to get it out of impound. I have to agree to give it to the impound lot so that they can destroy it or whatever they do with it, resell it, what have you. Now I don't have a car. I don't have a place to sleep at night. So now I have to go and find a way to survive. You can't get a tent. You can't put a tent anywhere without being harassed, okay? So you don't have a place to sleep. You're not lucky like that. Yeah, okay, so I go to a homeless shelter. Get sick as hell. Then I get thrown out of the homeless shelter. Why? Look at the color of my skin. Homeless shelters favor people that are not, that don't look like me, and that tend to not have the same reproductive organs as me, and that have more than a couple children, okay? So what you find out quickly is if you're a single male, not even a white male, just a single male, and you're homeless and jobless, you're screwed, okay? Because those programs that help people get jobs and all this stuff, they're geared towards single women, particularly single women of color. So you start seeing how society works. You start seeing why we need things like Volkish equality, why we need things like social justice to correct the wrongs with society. And people will go, oh, well, that's not very objectivist of you. And this is the thing. People don't understand. Philosophy is wonderful. Metaphysics is wonderful. Metaphysics is great in academia. But when you're in reality, when you're suffering in reality, it's not so great. So what I want people to do is I want people to check out this channel, Invisible People, and maybe it will enlighten them to some of the realities of homelessness. Now, some of these people are a little bit goofy, and this is what you have to understand. When you're homeless and you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you have malnutrition, you have sleep deprivation, you have this, your personality changes. I was very animalistic when I was homeless, okay? If somebody crossed me, I was not the nicest person. And people don't understand. This isn't like living in a slum. When you're homeless, if you live in a slum, you usually have enough food to eat and you can sleep. When you're homeless and you lack nutrition, you lack sleep, you lack the ability to relax. You're constantly moving. Then you're working. When you work, it's heavy labor because you can't get good work if you're homeless. You lost your humanity and you're not going to get it back. And that's what you need to understand. So that's why people should view this channel, check it out, watch the people. It's a great channel. I like what the guy's doing. I hope more people start doing things like this. I'd be doing it, but you know, I don't really have the transportation. I think he actually uses public transportation. Maybe I'll consider that. Maybe I might do it over the summer or something. I doubt it though. I've had my fun with traveling and being homeless. But the fact of the matter is, check the channel out. Like the videos, share the videos, bring attention to what's going on in this country because people do not understand.